Hello friends, we'll be studying the transmission impairments in this presentation. What do you mean by transmission first? Transmission is the act of propagation through the medium and receiving and processing of the signal. The transmission medium are not perfect. They have some imperfections which cause the impairment in the signal sent through the medium. This means that the signal at the beginning and at the end of the medium are not the same. What is sent is not what is received. That is called transmission impairment. Signal that is received will be impaired or distorted during the transition. For example, for analog signals, signal quality is reduced. For digital signals, errors are introduced. That is, 1 is recognized by 0 or 0 is recognized by 1. Right? So, the transmission impairments could be degradation of signal quality, or in digital case it may be bit errors. So in both the types of signal there could be some change which reaches to the receiver, that is the original data is not to the receiver, right, due to some problem by the transmission, either in the transmission medium or surroundings of the transmission medium. So most significant impairments as it is given is the attenuation and attenuation distortion, delay distortion, and noise. Attenuation. Attenuation means loss of energy. The signal strength reduces over time. When a signal travels through a medium, it loses some energy, some of the energy, so that it can overcome the resistance of the medium. Thus, a wire carrying electrical signal gets warm, if not hot after a while, but it gets warm. Some of the electrical energy in the signal is converted to heat. To compensate this loss, amplifiers are used to amplify the signals. From means between the sender and the receiver, the amplifiers are used. The loss of signal strength with long distances, when signal travels along in a long cabling, then attenuation may happen. Attenuation values for actual cables are measured in units known as decibels. A standard measurement value used in communication for ex, expressing the ratio of two values of voltage, of power, or some other signal related quality. Okay, attenuation is caused by single absorption or signal absorption or connector loss or coupling loss. To minimize attenuation, use high grade. We should use high grade cabling, such as the cabling of category 5. We'll be studying it in detail in next presentations. And we also need to minimize the number of connectors or the devices or the couplers which we use in between, and so that we can ensure that these high grade components are working well. When a signal attenuates large amount, the receiving device might not be able to detect it or might misinterpret it, therefore causing errors. Right. So this is attenuation. Now what is it? Delay distortion? Delay distortion occurs usually in guided media. All frequency components of the signal may not travel at the same speed and cause distortion. For example, two consecutive bits, the portion of the signal carrying one bit may overlap with the portion of the signal carrying the neighboring bit. The various frequency components in the digital signal arrive at the receiver with varying delays or resulting in the delay distortion, right? One bit reach faster, other bit reach very slow, or the first bit was slow, the second bit was much faster, the second bit overlapped the first bit. So such kind of distortions are known as delay distortion. As bit rate increases, some of the frequency components associated with each bit transition are delayed and start to interfere with the frequency components associated with the later bit, causing inter-symbol interference, which is a major limitation of the maximum bit rate. Right? This is the major limitation of the maximum bit rate. Now comes the noise. What is noise? Noise refers to unintentional signals introduced in a line by various phenomena such as heat or electromagnetic induction created by other sources. Noise is an undesirable random electric transmission or network cabling that is generated by networking components such as network interface card or induced in cabling by proximity of electrical equipment that generates electromagnetic interference. Noise is generated by all the electrical equipments, as you know, all the electronic devices, motors, or fluorescent lamp, power lines, or office equipment. They all produce some or the other kind of noise, and it can interfere with the transmission of signals on a network. The better signal to noise ratio of an electrical transmission system, the greater the throughput of the information on the system. The binary data being transmitted will be altered by noise, and the result is incorrect data. So the noise and the momentary electrical disturbance may cause data to be changed as it passes through the communication channel. One term is a white noise. What is a white noise? It is present in all electronic devices and cannot be eliminated by any circuit. It increases with temperature, but it is independent of the frequency. That means that the white noise covers the whole frequency spectrum and will be picked up by both low and high frequencies. As bandwidth increases, the white noise is also called as also increases. The white noise, it is also known as thermal noise or additive noise. What is thermal noise and additive noise? The amount of noise directly proportional to the temperature of the medium, right, is the thermal noise. White noise is usually not a problem unless it does not, it becomes so strong that it operates the transmission of the data. And the thermal noise is the random motion of, what is thermal noise? Random motion of electrons in a wire that creates an extra signal uh, not originally sent by the transmitter is the thermal noise. The thermal noise is also called additive noise, right? Additive noise is generated internally by the components such as resistors or solid state devices used to implement the communication system. Thermal noise is the most common impairments in the wireless communication. There are three general sources. The noise that enters the antenna with the signal, aptly called antenna noise. The noise generated due to ohmic absorption in the various passive hardware components, and the noise produced in amplifiers through thermal action within the semiconductors. These all noise are considered as the white noise, right? Then second is the induced noise that comes from the sources such as motors or appliances or coils surrounding the place where the wire is running, in which the electrical signal is running, and these devices act as a sending antenna, and the transmission medium act as a receiving antenna, right? So, and again, there could be another kind of noise that could be impulse noise. Impulse noise is this, like a sudden surge or a high voltage suddenly created, that is the due to power coming into the lines or due to some lightning. Such noises, the impulse noise, which can change the data. Okay, interference again is a kind of noise, is caused by picking up unwanted electromagnetic signal from the nearby cable running with the cable, right? Then again, crosstalk is another kind of noise. Is it is crosstalk and impulse. See, crosstalk is the undesirable effect of one circuit on another circuit. It occurs when one line picks up some of the signals traveling down another line. Crosstalk effect can be experienced during telephone conversations when one can hear other conversation at the background. Crosstalk, it is a form of interference in which signal in one cable induce electromagnetic interference in an adjacent cable, and the twisting in the twisted pair cabling reduces such amount of crosstalk, right? Now these are some of the factors which affect the error rate which is being created due to the this noise or attenuation, right? These are the bandwidth which is required. We can tell that if bigger is the bandwidth and bigger is the noise, then more and large amount of bits will be affected. right? So for that we find out signal to noise ratio, that how much was the noise and how much was the signal traveling. If the noise is much, if the ratio is high from the side of noise, then the signal is discarded and again the signal is sent, right? Then it also depends upon the bit rate, also depends upon the kind of transmission medium which we use. For example, if we are using an optical fiber, then the noise will be very less. The disturb error rate will be very less, because optical fibers are such we do not easily allow the noise to enter the medium. In transmission distance, long distances would carry long, much error rate, and short distances, in short distances there will be less uh, rate, right? Then again, the environment in which the wire is kept, if there are machines all over, then more and more noise would be induced into the wire. Then performance of the transmitter and receiver also affect the bit error rate. Means high performance transmitter and receiver take it into account that if they transmit, if the transmission should be good enough so that the rate of error is very much reduced, and the receiver takes care of that. If the there is some error, receiver should be able to check if it is there some error, and also should be able to correct if there is an error. So performance of the receiver and transmitter also depends, also affects the bit error rate, right, in the data. Now, Nyquist was a scientist who gave how to calculate the bit error rate. There was a simple formula to find the bit error rate is equal to 2 into bandwidth into log 2 L. L is the signal level used to represent data. Okay. Now here, what is the channel capacity? The channel capacity is the maximum data rate on a communication channel at one point in time, right? So data rate is in bits per second, bandwidth is in hertz or cycle per second, or noise on the and noise in the communication channel. And error rate is the rate of corrupted bits in the communication channel, right? These all are going to affect the channel capacity, what amount of information can be transferred through a particular kind of channel in a particular point in time. Calculated with the help of Shannon capacity formula. Shannon was a scientist who gave the formula to calculate the capacity of the channel. Right now, to first formula it is given is uh, uh, the first formula which has been given is the SNR, that is signal to noise ratio. Is a very important parameter in assessing the channel capacity or the throughput of the data channel. From Shannon's law, the maximum data rate which a channel can possibly support is given by the product of the line bandwidth and the signal to noise ratio of the channel. The channel capacity shown is shown often as C in the communication formulas, is the amount of discrete information bits that a defined area or a segment in the communication medium can hold. For example, there's a telephone wire can be considered as a channel in this sense, right? Here in the second formula, you can see the capacity is denoted by C and B. B is the bandwidth, log 2, 1 plus SNR. You can calculate the capacity of the particular channel. Okay.